Episode uno. Welcome to Unfiltered and On-Ball. I'm your host, D Strop, and I'm here with that boy jamming. Hey man, jamming. Episode one, player. The debut.
Yes,
What
yes,
what
sir.
what we
We're back.
hey man, back like two shoulder blades, man. What's up? It's a new look, a new vibe. We about to go upside these folks' head unfiltered. What can you go ahead and tell the people what to expect, man?
Man, the unfiltered takes on football, basketball, maybe a little sprinkling, a little bit of baseball. Go Orioles, and for us to be authentically good selves, and we always gonna keep it unfiltered, baby.
All right. So yeah, man, just for the stereo, I mean for the people who know, man, this is Unfiltered on Ball. We are here to talk raw, bold, and unapologetic sports and just everything. You know what I mean? Across the board, we're gonna talk mostly sports, but hey, look here, man. We ain't just here to dribble. You know what I'm saying? We got opinions about other things. So you know what I'm saying? So first episode, Jim, and I think look, we just had the NFL draft. I think we're gonna draft the winners and losers, which team changed their franchise trajectory, your predictions. You know what I'm saying? So early predictions about offensive rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year, and rookie of the year. Uh Impact players we need to know and remember who to look out for before the season gets started. And definitely gonna talk about some NBA, man, in the playoffs. This shit is heated, man. I'm talking about like physically, emotionally, and it's kind of crazy upside down, man. And baseball season is some interesting things. We might have some little unfiltered debates and topics, man. So hey, for all y'all, before we get started, make sure y'all hit that like, subscribe, and notification button to make sure that y'all catch all these episodes and see all the hot topics and all the unfiltered takes that we got for y'all, man. And we just getting started with the episode one on TikTok, Instagram, Spotify. Make sure y'all follow us on what else? Where else? We on YouTube. We on Twitch. We up. Am I missing
We
one?
all there.
Man, we outside. We
Yes,
outside. Hey,
sir.
look at we pulling up on everything, man. So all right, man. With all that out the way, NBA draft, man. We just concluded the NBA draft. Um, look, I think a lot of us, the consensus is that this was not the way we thought the draft was gonna go. I think a lot of people were shocked by how things transpired, man. What's your take as far as just the overall draft before we start diving into it?
Man, overall draft for me was like I expected it, but I also didn't expect it. I think there was a record 16 offensive linemen drafted in the first round. Like that by itself is like, only two quarterbacks, but that was expected as much. Um, with Mendoza and Ty Simpson going to the Rams, man, I mean, it was a good draft. I mean, there were some people that kind of sat for a little bit. There's some people that got a little ahead of the curve when it comes to their pick choice, but overall, I mean, it was a good draft.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, one of the takes that I said up here was telling some people, this was definitely a different type of draft. This was not a draft that was built for skill set. I think
No.
this was more your big man, your defensive lineman, offensive lineman draft. Matter of fact, I want to say it was definitely this draft probably set the record for offensive lineman taking. If not, it was definitely in the top one. You had a crazy amount of offensive linemen that were taken, drafted, period, but were taken in the first round. You also had a run on edges. So,
Mm-hmm.
and this was also a defensive draft. Like this was more for your defensive players. You definitely had your stars and certain players that were there. But uh what's your take on this? Cause I kind of been saying this for a long time. This was not the draft, particularly for wide receivers. that were number one wide receivers. I think a lot of these wide receivers that were taken are people who have the potential to grow into a role, but a lot of these guys are going to be your number two and number three wide receivers. What's your opinion about that?
I mean, I pretty much think the same. I mean, but there was a good bit of wide receivers taken too. Um, you had the guy from USC going to the Eagles. You had Jacoby Lane going to the Ravens. Makai Lemon, that's the guy I'm thinking about. I mean, there was a few selections in there, but there was like no standout guy that I could be like, okay, that's going to be a great pick. But I did see that Chris Brazzell, I think he's on the Titans, if my memory serves me right. Not,
Now, Brazzle with the
no, the
Panthers.
Panthers. The
Mm-hmm.
Panthers, yes. He's on the Panthers. So that's a great pickup for Bryce Young. Um, and I also seen that Tommy Castellanos, former quarterback, I think for Texas A&M or Florida State, he is switching to wide receiver.
Yeah,
So
and that's a good move for him.
yeah, yeah. So it's, I mean, I don't think that the picks of our wide receivers were bad. I don't think, but I also don't think they're number one receivers. But they can very well help their team for sure.
With that being said, so one of the shocking picks was Carnell Tate going number 4 overall to the Titans. So
That was crazy.
that all right. So
I ain't expect that
listen,
one.
man, did nobody expect that? I think that's when the wheels came off with Jeremiyah Love. I think is when the monkey and the wrench got thrown into the gears, man. Like the monkey wrench got thrown in there because most of the time the past few years we kind of understood who was going. It was like boom, 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 boom. You at least the first 3 or 4 picks you already knew what was happening. But after the first pick, we didn't know what the hell was going on. You know what I'm saying? So when David Bailey went number 2, the Cardinals went with Jeremiyah Love, and the Tennessee Titans were originally supposed to have been trying to go for Jeremiyah Love originally. Like that's what they
They would
said.
have picked him up,
I listen, man. I'm not about
and
to
you
get in
know
that.
it too. That's why you
No, 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 no. I don't. After listening to what the organization said, they said it was a smokescreen. They said they were not going. They said they wanted David Bailey, and they said they went with the next best offensive option, or went with the next best option, which was Carnell Tate. They wanted to give somebody to give Cam Ward the help, but we'll get that in a second. But with Carnell Tate, a lot of people saying, me included, that he was not a true number one. He's never been a number one. All right, so I don't know if you seen, but Malik Neighbors, who knows
yeah.
Carnell
See,
Tate, said he should have been taken that high, and he don't know if he's really a one. What is your take on like peers saying that on especially on draft day? Because I want to say that was on draft day when he made that comment. What's your take on that and then just him saying that and being a peer?
yeah. So he was having a watch party. I believe Michael Parsons was there as well. I don't necessarily like it. I ain't gonna
Yeah,
lie to you because you're having like in real time reactions to these drafts, and then you're responding to your team's draft selections,
right.
whether you like them or you don't. And I mean, it's already gone viral of the ones that he disagreed with. He was like, "No, I wanted Caleb Downs. Like, why didn't we try and get him? Like, no, he was mad that he was mad that they got Arvell Reese. He's like, no, what I wanted was Caleb Downs. What I wanted was this. What was that? I wanted Jeremiah Love." And I'm like, I mean, it doesn't have to be a distraction, but it's very much potentially could be a distraction when you're sitting there like judging your team's selections publicly like that. Because a lot of times the team like them to be, politically correct and say like, "Nah, I don't mean this. No, I don't mean that." All the bullshit they be trying to do. But I don't necessarily like it. I ain't gonna lie to you.
And honestly, bro, it comes off as even if it's not your teammate. Look, y'all. First off, we understand that it's not a lot of people who make it to that level. It's not a lot of people around. You know what I mean? So y'all the cream of the crop. So you amongst a secret society as it is, or amongst a society, a rare society as it is. So the thing is, y'all, most of the time, y'all form a bond. And on top of that, bro, he knows this man. Like he said, oh yeah, I know Tate. I talked to him. So it come off his shade to sit up here and say, hey, you should have been taking that high. Man, look, you might have that personal opinion and be like, he's always been a tool. It's gonna be interesting to see, how he works into being, one on his team, where it's not reword the shit, bro. You came out very salty because I mean at the end of the day, like it's other people who were sitting up here who could say the same thing. Like if we're really keeping it a bean, I mean Malik Neighbors was that guy, but LSU had some dogs down there that had you like shit. I mean, really, like we didn't expect Neighbors to blossom into what he's become. He showed out. You know what I'm saying? He put up stats at LSU, but what nobody sitting up here hollering Neighbors. When you think LSU, Neighbors' name does not come up in the first 5 or 6 wide receivers out of, or at least the first 4 or 5 wide receivers that come out of LSU. He
Yeah,
don't. You see what I'm
he
saying?
don't.
So the thing is to drop shade on this man because we don't know what his NFL future can be because we didn't expect Neighbors to blow up the way he did. You know what I'm saying? So it's shame on him, man. Unfiltered take that was some shady ass shit. Like, do you?
And you
I
speaking on
feel you.
somebody money. You speaking on like, oh, he
Yeah,
shouldn't have been.
bro.
Like, it's different when it's just like it's us or it's like somebody that's outside of that realm. But you're in those rooms, you're in those buildings, and you're speaking on your could be teammate in the future. You're speaking on their money. You probably wouldn't like that either.
Right, right. Yeah, man. Like that's some things, and I think the thing is, bro, you entitled to your opinion, and I think it's not what you say; it's how you say it. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, now you professional. If you like you said, if you out here just talking to your guys off camera, but you doing this on the draft at a watch party, and then not only did you say it, you doubled down on it and was pushing back when you know what I'm saying, when Micah's back like, nah, dude, that guy, he ain't. I'm like, yeah, you shady for that one. So, you know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
yeah, man. But with that, let me ask your personal opinion as far as Carnell Tate. Uh, do you see him as a number one receiver? And let me also ask you, do you feel like he was the best receiver in this draft?
Do I see him as a number one? As right now, no. I see him as a two. Um, I personally wouldn't have drafted him that high, but the Titans do need a receiver.
Yeah, we heard.
Yeah. So I mean, and I think coming from Ohio State and being in that system for all those years, and then developing to the receiver that he has become, yeah, I think he's the best receiver in the draft. And only time will tell if that's really true. But Ohio State breeds wonderful wide receivers, and they have great wide receivers on the roster right now. So he may not have displayed being able to be that number one, but that's just because the talent pool they have there is crazy.
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing because it was the fact of probably arguably a receiver possibly been number one in this draft. And Jeremiah Smith. Jeremiah Smith probably could have been a number wide receiver 3 drafts if we keeping it a bean.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So to be behind that guy, like I get it because I mean we could say the same thing about Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase was behind Justin Jefferson. You know what I mean? So you had guys who somebody always had to be behind somebody. But just like you said, when you come from the prestige of wide receivers, and I I want to get back to this because I'm gonna ask you about this. But when you come from a prestige like Ohio State, a school that puts out those type of wide receivers, I mean, you know what you getting. You know you're getting somebody who runs a route tree. They technically sound. They are fundamentally sound. It's pretty much in my best comparison would be. Ohio State receivers are the Duke Blue Devils of football as far as that position. Back in the day when you knew when Coach K was coaching you, you was going to the league. You knew you drafted a Duke player. Them guys was gonna be their guys. You knew what you was getting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, now the question is you already knew I was gonna ask this.
I feel like you was gonna ask this. Right now, yeah, they are. And LSU is a close second
Yeah,
for sure.
I say athletic, uh, electrifying as far as what they can do. LSU has Ohio State in that aspect, but when it comes down to the fundamentals, the being technical, I think Ohio State has it, and they constantly are producing. Because if we talking about who has the best acrobatic, the most electrifying wide receivers, is going to be LSU. Look at what Malik Neighbors do. Look at what OBJ did. When you sit up here and look at Justin Jefferson, when you talk about what was the other one that was down there with the was with Browns and with the Dolphins for a while, came out right.
Uh, Landry,
When you look at Landry,
Jarvis Landry. Yeah,
yeah, when you look at these guys, bro, and look at what they could do in a short space, one hand catches back in the end zone,
yeah,
they got it. But when you look at Ohio State, them boys is giving your ass fundamental yards.
mm-hmm.
Smith and Jigba, Olave, Garrett Wilson, you know what I'm saying, and Buka. So yeah, it's I think I think it's all about what you look for. But right now, if we talk about just consistently pumping them out, yeah, Ohio State killing that shit, man. So let's move on to somebody that that you got strong feelings about. It is probably the biggest discussion besides the whole Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Love and that whole debacle up front. Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson going 13 overall. Now him going 13, but the fact he went 13 overall to the LA Rams. What the hell is your viewpoint about that?
Well, you remember I called it.
You did. You did.
we we can roll back the tape. I had called it. I brought up to you the Rams, and he's like, "Well, nah, they got Matthew Stafford. No, they good." Well, I'm like, "Well, Jimmy Garoppolo is contemplating retirement. He was the backup."
Right.
Eh, uh, Just saying, my takes is real, but I like the pick because you have to prepare for the future. You have to prepare um for Matthew Stafford potentially retiring in the next couple of years or his play going down. Um, and then do you believe in Stetson Bennett to be the backup? Now, that's a whole nother situation. But if you saw there the interview with Sean McVay speaking on the Rams drafting Ty Simpson, he didn't seem like he was too pleased about it.
Yeah.
Like even the phone call he had with Ty Simpson was like, "Hey, let's go break records, coach. Let's go do it." And he was like, "Yeah, can't wait to have you in the building."
Right.
Yeah, so it's like this was a complete GM move. I don't think this was. I don't think he had any hand in that pick. He said he's going to compete with Stetson Bennett. He has no chance of being the starting quarterback as of right now. So I think this is a GM move, and I think it was a smart move. You got to prepare for the future. Matthew Stafford, he's pushing 40, so I get it. I love the pick.
I think the biggest thing is for me is that just me as a football head, former player, everything else. I look at teams and I look at something that you gotta have every year.
Yeah,
Or which you can never have enough of. Let me say that. I don't feel like you can never have enough offensive linemen. I think the thing about offensive lineman is it's a position that you could always go get and you could always improve or you could always be working on. So in my personal opinion, I always usually try to have an offensive lineman. But I think the biggest thing is when you start talking about a team that still has the potential to constantly compete and be a competitor for the Super Bowl, especially where this team is at right now, you would think that they would add a weapon for the present. And I guess what I'm looking at is the biggest knock for this class was the lack of depth at quarterback. And what they're talking about with the next year's class is the depth at quarterback. So why wouldn't you build towards your present and then wait until next year and grab somebody that's could be for your future?
Uh, I mean, do you think they have a whole bunch of pieces that they need? Because I feel like the Rams have a pretty decently solid team, and personally, like you never know where you're going to be at next year. So if in their head they're thinking we're going to be going back to the playoffs, we're going to be doing this, so they don't see themselves as having to pick at that high of a rate. And usually, when you want to get a quarterback, you particularly want to get them in the beginning of the first round. Not saying that you can't get a decent quarterback in the later rounds, but it's not as common. But you have your Dak Prescott, you have your Russell Wilsons, you have your shoot. There's other quarterbacks out there that weren't drafted in the first round, but you want to have it in the first. And they had a chance to get from what scouts were saying, was mm, clearly the number two. Some say number one quarterback in the draft at 13. So they probably think that that was a bargain deal for them, and it was their best chance to get the quarterback.
So I got a thing though. So you got a quarterback, and one of the biggest knocks for Ty Simpson was the fact that he didn't have a lot of experience. You got a Stetson Bennett that came off of championship, national championship runs. It's Stetson Bennett better than Ty Simpson. Hey man, it's not me that want to. Hey, look here. Hey, some of the unfiltered ballers want to know. It's inquiring minds that want to know.
So I can't necessarily comment on that because we haven't seen Stetson Bennett play in 3 years.
True.
So everything I would be basing it off of is basing off of his play from 3 years ago, which was spectacular. I would easily say he would be the better quarterback, but nobody has seen him play in that time frame. But we
Right.
have seen Ty Simpson play. Like, it's a shorter scale, but I mean, as of right now, I have to say Ty Simpson because he's played more recently.
Yeah. I think Ty has good measurables. Um, I don't know if I would have taken him in this draft just due to the team that just this past season was on a trajectory to sit up here and a favorite to be a Super Bowl contender. Not even just um I think this is away from being that team. I think their defense was solid, but I think they could have added maybe some help in that secondary. I think I always feel like you want to protect your cash cow. So off lineman could have, but when you sit up here and talk about Ty Simpson, I mean it's almost like, and we seen this when the Packers drafted when the Jordan Love that year when Aaron Rodgers was beating the table for more weapons around him. It's almost like it put the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Jordan Love sat for a long time. So I don't know, man. But I don't know if the Packers was making runs like this, like the Rams are making right now, man. So that was interesting, man. So moving along, another one that's interesting to me as far as the whole Ruben Bain situation. Ruben Bain, a player that was predicted to be in the top five for a long time. Then the situation with information that was brought back up from a 2024 car wreck and accident that involved a young lady losing her life. This information was brought back up 10 to 11 days before the draft. Uh, a lot of organizations said they were already aware of the information, and this was not anything new. This was really more new for the fan base or for the fans and the people surrounding the sport. But this information was put back up, and he took a major tumble from a guy who was predicted to go in the top five to then he ended up falling to 15. I want to elaborate as far as like that whole situation by all means, but as far as him going 15 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, what is your feelings about him and that fit with that team?
I feel like it's perfect. Um, as far as like the pick itself to the team, I mean, he stays in Florida. I think he went to Miami, right?
Yeah,
Um, I think the pick was perfect for him. Uh, Perfect situation. It's going to bolster that defense. Now about the whole crash and everything, I think it's very upsetting and disheartening that news like that would come out to try to deter this young man's potential NFL career. And I think they're only doing that. NFL teams tend to just do that so they can drop the player's stock so they can get them at a cheaper price.
right,
I'm not saying this is what they did with this one, but I mean, you brought up a situation that wasn't even that was already investigated, no charges, no
right.
nothing. Family was like, "Hey, we don't want to talk about it. it. It's under the bridge or whatever it is." Like the whole point of bringing that up was just like to tarnish his name.
Yeah,
But I mean, he's got a good situation, so you got to be thankful for that.
yeah. That and it's interesting to see. Um, it's gonna be interesting to see how he uses this for motivation because I don't know if you watched it, but I think we was watching it live where he is most of the time people go up, they grab the hat, they pose in front of the mirror, take their pictures. My man grabbed his hat and walked straight out there to the stage, shook hands, and said, "Hey, look, man, my teammate, you ain't my friend." And he's also going out on record saying that two people that he want to sack is Lamar Jackson and Cam Ward. He said he got it out for them guys, man. So shout out to man. I think that is gonna be motivation for that guy. I hate to see it, you know what I'm saying, the fact that that happened, but this shit happen every year, bro. They do this every year to a person. I think the first time one of the major ones was Tunzel, where they leaked him bonging like hours or like was like an hour or two before the draft. So this shit crazy. I
Yeah.
know when they did Jeff Simmons had his situation where he had he was in high school. They brought this back up from high school.
See, that's just like, come on, bro. Like,
Yeah. And that's the thing, man. But they pick and choose who they do this shit to because think about it. You didn't hear about Baker Mayfield's situation out there in Arkansas, where he set up here and had the domestic situation with his gal, then tried to run from the police drunk.
no, we
You-
did hear about that. That shit was funny as hell.
We heard about it, but we didn't hear about it during the draft, though. I don't remember.
Yeah, we did. It was before the draft though. Like
Oh,
that, like he was still in college when that happened, and I
yeah,
think he
that's what.
played. But I'm saying he played a whole nother season after that. So it
Yeah,
was like it was already known. We already done saw it. But the fact he still went number one overall, I get what you're saying. But
right. Because that's the thing. They didn't bring it back up during the draft. That's just like
you're
the
right.
same thing with the Ruben Bain situation. It happened in 2024. He played a whole nother season, and now
Right.
you bring the shit back up.
Well, I mean, to play devil's advocate, somebody unfortunately did lose their life.
Correct.
Baker Mayfield, he he made he made decisions like a college student, which was stupid. Like running away from the cops. He's a lot faster on the football field than he is running from the police.
Man, mine, that boy was running in mud. Do you hear me? That boy looked terrible.
Oh boy, I said, and he's supposed to be a scrambling quarterback.
Mine, that shit looked terrible.
He wasn't getting nowhere.
Mine, boy had cement boots on. But yeah, yeah, it was definitely one of them things, man. I hated for him, but I think he said, things happen for a reason. I hopefully it works out for the best for him. But with that, while we in here, we're gonna talk about that NFL draft as far as like who's the winners and who's the losers, as far as your personal opinion with the draft class. From what you remember, as far as teams that you off the top of your head, who's the team that did the best in the draft?
Mm, mm. I might go with the Cardinals. I like their picks. They
The
got
card,
some, yeah, they got some offensive linemen. They got Jeremiah Love. They got a running back. They also got Carson Beck at quarterback. Like, so you have a quarterback for the future. You have a young running back. You got some offensive linemen. You pretty much have plugged the holes that you needed.
right?
Yeah. Now, honorable mention is the Cleveland Browns as well. Their draft was a little different, where they ended up picking a quarterback. With something in me, something deep down in me knew that they were going to go with a quarterback at some point in time. So they they needed offensive line help. They got that with Spencer Fano. You got Casey Concepcion from Texas A&M, great wide receiver. Uh, Yet to be seen if he's a true number one. We already done talked about that a little bit.
Right.
And second round, they got Denzel Boston from Washington, another wide receiver. Then they got some safety help from Emmanuel McNeil from Toledo. Another offensive lineman, Austin Barber. Another offensive lineman. They bolstered up that line. They said,
They
no, we
did.
going
They
That's
did. They
another
went
one. Yeah.
crazy. They went crazy.
They said, fuck, we gonna get some linemen up in here. And they got Justin Jefferson from Alabama, Roll Tide, linebacker. Like we breed good, great linebackers. Then
Listen,
also, I said what I said. They got some tight ends to pick up the slack from David and Joku not being there anymore. And the honorable mention is Taylor Green from Arkansas, quarterback.
yeah.
So dude is a hybrid, a unicorn, whatever you want to call it. He ran a 4.340,
Hmm.
and I think a 42-inch vertical.
Yep.
Like, are they going to keep him at quarterback? Is a question. Are they going to put him at wide receiver? Is they going to do a wildcat with him? But I honestly, I love that pickup.
Well, they got to keep
Even
him
with
at quarterback. They got to,
yeah.
so they can add to the number of quarterbacks that I had up there in Cleveland.
Facts. But I think what they're trying to do. I could be wrong. I think they're trying to. So they have on the roster. They have Taylor Green. They have Deshaun Watson,
Yep.
Shador Sanders,
Yep.
um,
Dylan
Dylan Gabriel.
Gabriel. Yep.
So they got four. So I think the two that they're pretty much set on is
Deshaun.
Shador and Watson, Deshaun Watson. And I think they're trying to pick who's that third guy going to be, and who's that guy who's going to compete for the second or third string quarterback. And I think that's going to be between Taylor Green and Dylan Gabriel. Since Dylan Gabriel hasn't been in the building yet, I think they decided, okay, we're going to get this unicorn quarterback to help us out with the run game, Wildcat or whatever, and see if we can develop him if these other quarterbacks don't work. And they're probably going to trade one of them off,
Well,
which probably going to be Dylan Gabriel.
and that's the thing. That Dylan Gabriel isn't isn't Monk's draft pick. He doesn't even fit. He doesn't even fit the repertoire or the
Hmm.
build of the rest of the quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson, for the most part, up until his many of injuries, and then his disappearance for that other situation. But Deshaun Watson was a mobile quarterback. He was an improviser. When you look at Shador, he's more of the pocket style quarterback. But the thing is, he can. So when you look at Dylan Gabriel, not saying that he's not athletic, but he doesn't fit the stature. When you talk about Deshaun Watson, what 6'2", 6'3", you look at Shador 6'3", 6'2", 6'3". When you look at what is it 6'4", 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, he's 6'6". Yeah.
Dylan Gabriel 5'6". You know what I'm saying? The rest of them guys built like the rest of
He's
them
about
guys built
5'6".
like basketball players. My man built like a softball player. Like my point is, bro.
You wild for
My
that.
point is, this isn't what Monken is wanting. And you got to realize Monken just came from being the offensive coordinator for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Um, I see Dylan Gabriel kind of being the odd man out, especially when they had non-mandatory practices or workouts and he wasn't showing up to them up until the press got a hold to it. Then when the media got a hold to it, then he shows up and his first 6 passes, he throws 2 interceptions. So my thing is, bro, either you lock in or you load up and ride out. But at the end of the day, the thing is the controversy that you call be it if you did it yourself or if your agent did it or Stefanski did it, you were a distraction up there at that Browns organization that has been a distraction and not for anything good. They
Yeah.
have been all but just the butt and jokes. Funny that they the butt of all jokes when they brown, but the fact of the matter is, you know what I'm saying, they've been an issue down there. And the thing is, the distraction that y'all said that Shador was and y'all wanted him to be, he was actually the more classier individual in that whole shamble and that whole shit show that y'all had up there in Cleveland last year.
Yeah.
So the thing is, you get in another and you're drafting this person, I don't think is Green gonna be an odd man out. He's gonna be a quarterback, and his ass is gonna be in over Dylan Gabriel because Dylan Gabriel ass can't even see over half of the offensive linemen that they just drafted. That's my unfiltered take. My bad. I just that shit because it's the trickle over effect of the bullshit last year. You know?
Well, since you said that he can't see over the offensive line they had last year, that bears a question. A segue with this. So, do you think um do you think that the reason Diego Pavia was not drafted in this year's draft is you think it was because of his size at 5'10", 207, or was it because of his attitude in combination with that?
I think it's a combination of the fact that I think it's the attitude along with the fact of the size. The thing is, people can overlook certain things depending on the caliber of player you are. I mean, just like we were just talking about Ruben Bain and his situation, he fell to 15. Some people sitting up here saying the short arms couldn't over. I mean, his potential couldn't overshadow the baggage and the questions about the arms. When you sit up here and look at Walker that came out of Georgia, he was involved in a situation where a life was taken. But the thing is, the talent superseded the baggage that was in question.
Yeah.
Pavia, the baggage don't supersede. It's the same thing with Dylan Gabriel. Your talents don't supersede the baggage that comes along with it. So no, I think Pavia's situation is one of the things where Pavia is a workhorse. He's a good player. I think he's a great college player, I don't know if his tangibles translate to the NFL. Now he do got that dog in him, but the thing is, when you talk about the NFL being the premier league, it's dog in them, and they big as hell. You know what I'm saying? When you're a Keebler F, bro, a Doug Flutie, uh, uh, a sub Drew Brees, you got to do a lot more. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And it don't help that you out here hanging with Tony Manziel and trying to kick it
Tony
with
Manziel,
what's his name? Money Manziel.
Johnny.
Yeah, that motherfucker too. So when you hanging with with Johnny Manziel, you hanging with Johnny Manziel and you out here, you know what I'm saying, trying to kick it with Drake, and then you doing all the weirdo shit in the draft. Is like, bro, they can't overlook that. But the thing is, you're going to an organization that actually is a little bit more shocking eye factor. Like they play beat different drum, and you know it might be a good fit for him. Maybe he can mature out, and you know it works out for him. But yeah, Pavia, I don't know what it is about these short quarterbacks. Side note, but we'll get back to what we was talking about. But I don't know what it is about all these short quarterbacks that cause the most controversy. Kyler
Li-
Murray, Pavia, Dylan Gabriel. You know,
Little
like
man syndrome.
Napoleon ass motherfucker. So anyway, but so you were saying the Browns had a great class. Um, who were who was another class? I mean, another team that you felt like had a good class.
So I said the Browns and I said the Cardinals. Um, Let me think. Mm, Probably. I was actually the Chiefs.
You like the Chiefs?
I like the Chiefs. Uh, they might have a quarterback of the future. We'll see. Uh, with Garrett Nussmeyer, seventh round pick. I don't know why he dropped so far. Personally, I've never been that huge on Nussmeyer,
Right.
but a lot of the scouts have, but apparently not because he went to the seventh round. But I think he could be a good quarterback with good help around him, and the Chiefs is a great situation for him. And they got cornerback play to replace their former cornerback that they traded away with Monsoon Delane. They got Peter Woods, the tackle. You know, they need to bolster up that defense. They also got an edge with R. Mason Thomas. Fun fact, his name is R. Mason, like the letter R. The reason is the R doesn't even stand for anything. Um, Apparently it doesn't. Apparently his on his mom's side, everybody has a name started with an R, but she didn't want to name him like Richard, Randy, or anything like that. So she just said R and then Mason. So that's a fun fact about him. But he's a
That's crazy.
edge rusher. Yeah, I know, right? Edge rusher. And they also got another cornerback with John Kennedy from Oregon. Oregon has some great players on that team. So
They
I'll
did.
pick any I'll pick any player from them. Um then they got some running back help because you know their running backs the last couple years ain't been all that great and they've been injured. They got Emmett Johnson from Nebraska and also Cyrus Allen from Cincinnati. Now there's also another team that I did like their draft moves. I did like their draft moves, and I feel like it's gonna help them out tremendously during the season. And that is the New York Jets.
Yeah.
They had a pretty damn good draft, I
They
will
did.
say. So they have David Bailey, edge from Texas Tech. They also have Kenyon Sadiq, who I personally wanted on the Ravens with that number
Oh, was it the number 10?
14th pick.
Yeah.
I think we
Some
have 14.
14th. Yeah.
But we chose the offensive lineman, and the offensive lineman we got. I mean, I am completely fine with it. I'm happy with it. I might be even more happy with that pick than Sadiq. And they also got Omar Cooper Jr. from Indiana, wide receiver. D'Angelo Pons, cornerback from Indiana,
Right.
national champion at that. Daryl Jackson Jr. from Florida State. And they also have a quarterback of the future. Cade Klubnik from Clemson. So you got Geno Smith, and I know you haven't been high on Klubnik all season, if not the last 2 seasons.
No, no, hell no.
But I will say there is a reason scouts have been saying that he is like the next big thing. But his play has not shown. I think that's more so he's been on Clemson. Clemson is not a great team. They haven't been a great team for years.
True. Uh,
So
a crazy take. Somebody said it was a curse of all the cat teams. All the teams that had cats in it. Tigers, Lions, so Penn State, you had Clemson, LSU. Like it was a rundown of like about 4 or 5 teams, teams that were like of cat. The
so stay
cat
away from the
descendants,
cat.
like was yeah, man. So that's interesting. I'm with you with the Jets. The thing is with the Jets, you got guys that are known winners and they come from high quality programs. Indiana, even though it's a newer program, the thing is Sengeti has instilled such a work ethic and a winning mindset with them guys in the past few years. His short stint at Indiana, where they're bringing that to that team. When you also look at Sadiq, not only just his physical, but you come from an Oregon program that is still new, but is a program that is of prestige and understands really came from Stanford, shows that he has the education, transferred to Texas Tech, but this guy brings the physical skill set that you need for your organization. I
Hmm.
like what Glenn and the Jets are doing up there. I think they actually might be breaking a curse. They might be breaking a curse. Um,
Yeah.
before we transition over to pivot over to NBA, uh who do you have as off rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year, and defensive rookie of the year out this class?
Mm. Jeremiah Love, offensive rookie of the year.
Mm,
Defensive rookie of the year. Hmm. Caleb Downs.
okay.
It'll either be Caleb Downs or David Bailey.
Yeah. And who you got rookie of the year overall?
Overall,
Yeah.
you ain't gonna like this. Jeremiah Love.
Here go the thing, man. Let me just for clarification. I don't hate Jeremiah Love. I
Okay.
think the dude is. I think he's a good running back. I think he has potential to be great with the right team. I don't know if the Arizona Cardinals is the right team. I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna give you an example of what I mean, Jamie. Do you remember running back David Johnson that played for the Arizona Cardinals?
Yeah.
You remember the hype that he had when he was coming out of college and he went to the Arizona Cardinals and probably had one, maybe 2 good seasons? Because you remember they shipped Chris Johnson down there. Chris Johnson went down there to sit up here and take over for him.
Yeah.
Injuries and everything else. So the thing is,
Injuries is what took him. It wasn't the fact that he wasn't talented. The injuries got to the point where it ruined his career.
and the reason why is because they leaned on his ass. They leaned on him. He was down in a terrible situation because that was before they made that good run where they built that team where they had like Larry Fitzgerald, they had who else did they who ended up being down? But like they had like Chris, who was it? Carson Palmer. Was it Carson Palmer?
Yeah. But
It
that was
was one of
years ago.
yeah,
That
but
was,
the thing, but he was down there. Johnson was before CJ2K,
yeah.
and you remember he was damn near all they had on that team at one point in time. So I'm just saying the thing about when you take running backs like that, and you put them on certain teams, you're going to possibly run them into the ground. They still don't have a quarterback. Yes, Carson Beck possibly. You got Kobe Brissett. I think he's a good bridge quarterback, and I think he's going to be the guy for this year. I think they got Minshew down there as well. Um, so I just don't know if they got the weapons to really just to open them up. Now, here to go the thing. If they give him the line that he needs, which they didn't do, they address it a little bit. They give him the line that he need. I could see him, you know what I'm saying, doing this thing. But it also don't help that you probably playing in one of the more competitive divisions in the NFL. So um I'm not opposed to him possibly being that. I think if I'm going off of defensive rookie, I'm going Ruben Bain. I think the scheme fits where he's at. If he can go ahead and hit the ground running, I think it's going to be him. But I'm also with you on Caleb Downs. I just think Caleb Downs is probably the most polished defensive player in his draft. I think, and he's going to a Cowboys team where they need him to be in that role, and he probably can be a leader in that secondary day one. So
Yeah.
Caleb Downs or Ruben Bain for that. I'm gonna tell you a sleeper. For me is I like uh Jordan Tyson or Tyson Jordan. Um, at Arizona, I'm at down there with the Saints. I think what you do is you give Olave the opportunity to go back to where he was at. If he can stay healthy, I like Jordan Tyson down there at the Saints. But at the same time, I'm with the situation with Love. If they can figure out the quarterback situation, figure out how to build that offensive line, I think he has opportunity to be decent.
Yeah, I think they figured it out with all the offensive linemen. Like they picked up, I think, two or three of them.
They did.
They got the running back. They got a receiver. They already have a decent quarterback. Uh, and then got a quarterback of the future. I think they're going to be all right. I'm not even
Right.
gonna lie to you. I don't think they're going to be that bad if they can capitalize how they were playing at the latter end of the season. I think they'll be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's transfer over to NBA, man. And this shit, hey man, NBA has
Yes.
been wild, dude. First things first, the Wemby takeover. Victor Wemby, he just made history with a 35-point playoff debut, breaking Tim Duncan's franchise record. And the Spurs are currently in the dogfight against the Trailblazers. I think it's 2-2 right now.
Hmm.
Um, so is Wemby the best player in the league this year?
I want to say he's the best player in the league, but he's on his way. I think he's what you would call a generational talent. I think he would have won Defensive Player of the Year last year if it wasn't for those blood clots. I think he will be at the end of his career. He will be a multiple MVP winner. I also think he would be an NBA champion more than once. I think if he plays consistent like he had been playing from the time he had started picking up that basketball,
Right.
he will go down as the greatest player of all time
Is he the biggest nightmare that we've seen in the league?
by far. By far. You remember how Porzingis came out and he got the name Unicorn and how
Yeah.
much of a dog he was before he got injured with his knee.
Yeah.
The hype that Wembanyama has right now is even bigger than that. Bearing
He's
any injury, he's going to he's going to be on the realm of a Kobe, of a Michael, of a LeBron. Bearing any serious injury.
is Wemby what Porzingis should have been.
Yes. Yes. Well, Porzingis was never as athletic as Wembanyama is. But as far as the intangibles of what they can do, they're pretty similar if you really think about it. Um, they both are great shot blockers. They're great shooters. I think where it differentiates is the rebounds.
Yeah,
Porzingis is not he's not strong enough in the paint. He don't get
yeah,
those rebounds.
yeah. And injuries. Injuries whooped
Yeah,
his ass. Yeah, injuries whooped his ass. Who were some of, just off the top of your head, who were some of the most memorable, what I would say matchup nightmares, as far as just like that you can think of over time?
memorable matchup nightmares. Ugh. Porzingis, Wembenyama. Who was another matchup nightmare? I mean, LeBron because he could play all five. Magic Johnson because he could play all five. Um, shoot. Honestly, I'll go with um like players like a Boris Diaw, power forward, but can also pass that rock away. Um, shoot,
You forgetting some?
I'm forgetting a whole bunch, but there's
Yeah.
quite a few matchup nightmares. Tracy McGrady, Allen Iverson. Like he didn't have to practice. He just show up to the court and just shoot on you.
I'm
Those are the ones I can think of on top of my head, but I know there's more.
Kevin Garnett,
Kevin Garnett,
KD.
KD, yeah,
So those are guys. So
KD for sure.
yeah, I mean before KD, because you got to realize when you sit up here and talk about like when you were coming through an era, like Shaq was a nightmare. Shaq was a nightmare, a matchup nightmare. But like, okay, he was something new that we've never seen, and that was
Yeah,
I want to say, in my personal opinion, in my era, he was one of the first. Now it's others that supersede, but I'm talking about a player that I actually sat down and watched. That I'm like, shit, that boy cut from a different cloth. Shaq was the first. After Shaq,
Shaq for sure.
KG. Kevin Garnett, when he came in, he was like the first forward that could put the ball on the court. That was six. He said six, he called himself 6'12" because he didn't want to be 7 foot. But the athletic ability that he brought to that power forward position, that turnaround jumper, the way he could jump out the gym, and he was just coming out of high school,
Yeah,
that was something different.
yeah.
And then it was the same way with KD for me. Like KD, when KG started phasing out, it was KD because you like, bro, hold on, I ain't never seen nobody 7 foot a point guard, like a real point guard, certified off the dribble, turn around to the paint, dunking on you. Like he gave you everything. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So those guys now, when I look at Wimby is that next one where it's just like, hell is you out here 7 foot. If you on a perimeter, people can't shoot over you. If he gets to the elbow, he's dunking. My man's is that damn putting top on everybody, pause, but he topping everything out there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, he's putting you on the poster from the elbow and he hit you with the three. So I think that's it's interesting to see what he got going on, man, and see if he can stay healthy. That's the biggest thing about them cats, though. You made that point. If he can stay healthy,
If he stays healthy, I'd be hard pressed not to say he will be in conversations of being the GOAT.
yeah.
Because think about what he has done just in the 3 years he's been playing.
And he
Like,
hasn't had a full season yet.
nah, that's what's so crazy. I don't think his potential has even been tapped just yet.
Made from last year to this year,
what's so crazy? It wasn't even that big of a jump. If you really look at the stats, it wasn't that big of a jump. It was the fact that he was on like a minutes restriction and he was out hurt, and then the blood clots happened, so he only played half the season.
Right,
But he was already on that trajectory regardless. Like
right.
last year, he had about the same amount as blocks, about the same amount of points, rebounds. He just got those blood clots at the end. Now
That's
he's only going to get better. Like,
dog. That's the way that he's playing right now. It's crazy, bro. So
yeah.
yeah, I'm with that. So with that, we're gonna talk about the Eastern Conference chaos. So the East is the Orlando Magic. They pulled off a massive upset against the Pistons. The Atlanta Hawks, they out here giving the damn Knicks giving them that work. You know what I'm saying? I think the Hawks, what is it, 2-1? But
Mm-hmm.
um,
Nah. The Hawks and Knicks, they're 2-2.
so they 2-2 now. Okay. So are the Pistons with what they did in the regular season, are they frauds, or is it just one of these things where they still so young that they don't really know how to close out?
Who'd you say, the Hawks
Yeah, I
or the
mean, now
Pistons?
the Pistons.
Man, they're still a young team, bro.
Yeah,
They're still a young team, and I think in the beginning of the season, ESPN had the Magic being a number one seeded team. Obviously, that didn't come into fruition, but I mean, the Magic is. I mean, regardless of their record, they're not that bad of a team,
right.
and the Pistons still don't have that wherewithal where they can close out games like that. Now, I wouldn't be too surprised if they lose the series. They shouldn't. I'm a little shocked that they're in the position they are in now, but it's I think it all boils down to experience in the playoffs.
What about the Cleveland Cavaliers? What are your thoughts about the Cavs,
For James Harden's sake, they need to close this shit out. They
bruh?
tied 2-2,
Bruh,
and they just lost last night or whatever.
we was having a discussion. This was a conversation that was brought up, and we was talking about James Harden, and people talk about how James Harden has always disappeared. And I think it's a respectable debate, because when you look at it, man, when you look at James Harden has always had the players around him for him. He's always had the players around him for him to be in a consistent championship run position, but he's never closed out. When you look at when he was at OKC, he was not the two guy. To Houston, he had issues until but they put certain pieces around him. I wouldn't say it was the right pieces, but they put pieces around him. He had Chris Paul, but personal opinion, that was probably the worst assortment of players to ever be put together. They just went and got big names and just
Yeah.
nothing. So the question is, like, with all these runs that he goes on, is this it? Could this be like the last one?
I
Because
mean, the next thing he could do is just go to the Lakers.
I mean, bro, he's a journeyman at this point. A player of his caliber is a journeyman.
If you really think about it, like him and KD are journeymen.
Yeah,
Like people want to talk about LeBron switching teams all the time, but he has always fulfilled his contract. That's what kind of differentiates him with these other journeymen. Because when you switch teams like that, especially through trades, when you get traded, the team you're going to has to give something up. So each team you go to, that team is giving up solid pieces to get you.
Right.
When LeBron would sit there, he would fulfill his contract, then choose the team that he would want to go to, where no pieces are having to be given up. For
Right.
instance, the LA Clippers. You telling me you had a future MVP on your team, traded him and 5 first round picks for Paul George, who is no longer even on the team?
Bruh. Bruh.
Like
Hey man.
a future MVP
Yeah.
for Paul George to keep Kawhi Leonard happy, who barely plays, and now they're out the playoffs. So I mean, this whole journeyman thing is cool and all, but you know the best route, fulfill your contract and
Yeah.
then go to another team because another thing, the Knicks, who are looking at getting their ass beat in the first fucking round,
Yeah.
and it was projected to be, you know, at least in the conference finals. So you traded 5 or 6 first round picks for Mikal Bridges,
Right. Yeah. I
then complain about, you know, Tom Thibodeau is playing y'all too much, which I kind of agree. Like, you know, you do have a bench for a reason. But now you got this new coach, Mike Brown, who is likely to get fired after this season because the Knicks have no defense, what Tom Thibodeau had in his system,
yeah.
all because Mikal Bridges didn't want to, you know, play as. I mean, he was an Iron Man. He played every game, almost every minute. But you gave away significant pieces for an above average player.
Yeah. I and here goes the thing, man. Like, bro, you look at the fact of like these cats shuffle around. It's almost like AAU. It's like you going to, instead of you being like, man, I'm a create here and maybe getting one or two of your people just stand there. It's like every year these cats just sit up here and, well, I'm gonna go somewhere else. I'm gonna go somewhere else. And it's not like they chasing a bag. It's I don't know what they really chasing. It's like it doesn't make sense to me where they get somewhere. About time they can start having chance to congeal and grow together and learn how to play. They out the door again.
Yeah, it don't make no sense.
You know what I'm saying? So I question it because uh if you look at the teams that have really made runs and constantly have are showing that, hey, you know what, we got this shit built right. They're the ones that's having success, except for segue the Denver Nuggets. What the hell is going on in this series with them Timberwolves? And what is up with that boy Joker? Think he is about to fight? Like, let's talk about the boy.
Man, hold up. I don't know. So first, the Timberwolves are playing their ass off,
They are. They are.
and I think I said it on a few reels of ours where I was like, the Timberwolves are the team to look out for, with Anthony Edwards like playing his ass off, and you know he's always going to bring his game, and they're
He,
showing they're up 3-1.
yeah.
But what's even more crazy is that Anthony Edwards is out for like 4 to 5 weeks, but with a hyperextended knee. And also Dante DiVincenzo, he's out for the year and most likely next year with a torn Achilles. And they still won the fucking game.
Still balling.
Ayo DeSuma, 43 points.
Cooked. Cooked.
43 points.
Cooked.
Was straight up in in your face, sir. Like just straight up cooking them. So your bench player, you can't even stop their bench player. Come on. Now at the end of the game, dude, the game was over, and I don't know why he decided to shoot the damn the layup, but it's an unwritten rule in basketball where respectfully, you don't sit there and just shoot the ball up when nobody's playing. They're You can even see in the video they're dapping each other up like game over with, sportsman like and all that stuff. So Jokic is like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Like, chill. Jokic, he's not one of those big rah rah guys, but there's been a couple of times where he don't fucking play.
He
You
don't.
remember what he did to the Morris twin?
Yeah, he did run up on the Wolves twin though.
Yeah,
He
he
ran up
ran
on that
up on
motherfucker.
him.
Yeah.
Like he ain't scared.
So here goes a question. All right. It probably was definitely was one of them situations where like, all right, bro, like, yeah, this was unnecessary. But he ran up on him, got in his face, chest bumped him, everything else. Buddy sit up here and grabbed him up. What like is who was in the wrong? And I already know like two rights don't make two wrongs don't make a right, but like, hey, look, it's a way to go about it. If you was in the shoes, you go out here, lay the ball up, and Joker come bump down on you. The question is, what is Jamming doing? Oh, all right. Oh, all right. All
I,
right.
Two wrongs don't make it right, but hey, I'm, I'm gonna
Don't
need
put
my
your
10
damn hands
seconds.
on me. Don't put your hands on me.
I ain't gonna lie to you. He probably wouldn't even get close enough to put his hands on me. I probably would just go ahead and sock him
Man, all right. Because I'm telling you,
because at that point I see a threat.
yeah, you're not walking up to dap me up. Not the way you approach your homeboy. You approach it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, your
Now you
big
walk
ass.
up, put your hands on me. You tighten me up. No, nah. I probably. But you see, he was smirking. He was like, and
Randall.
that's when Randall was like, nah. He started to break up the fight, and then I guess in the midst of him breaking up the fight, he started to get pissed, and then he started. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
But
I
I
look.
will say, dude was wrong. He shouldn't have did that. Tatum McDowell's, he shouldn't have did that. But Jokic, I guess he should have reacted differently. But at the same time, you can't tell somebody how to react to your bullshit.
Right. Another while we on the West Coast, man, we got one more game over there. You got the Thunder and the Suns, man. This shit is cooked.
Cooked.
Yeah. The Thunder. Are we talking about this? Is the team. This is the team that's. Are we looking at a dynasty? Are we looking at the new? Are we looking at the new Warriors?
Possibly, bro. And this is all thanks to Paul George and the Clippers.
Yeah. And the
Because
crazy thing about it, bro, they got
exactly. They're not even done. That's what's so they're only gonna get better. They're only gonna get better. They might just win it all this year, back to back. Not even kidding.
um. I equate this. I equate with what the Thunder have the opportunity to do is what the Dallas Cowboys did when they traded Herschel Walker and got all those picks.
Yeah.
With the Dallas with Dallas. Like I equated to that where they literally built that team and went on that whole dynasty run. I equate this to similar to how uh the Bears rebuilt their team off that Khalil Mack trade. Because when you look at what the Bears are at right now, these playoff runs and everything they doing, it's off of that trade and off of what they did. You were looking at a Thunder team, bro, that's liable to sit up here and really be able to go almost 12 deep with first round picks. That's like legit
Yeah,
starters on any other NBA team,
that's what's so crazy.
and they young. They young as
Yeah.
hell. Like they just getting started, bro. Um, do you think they're obviously the team to beat out the West? They obviously the team to beat out the West, but you got one team that's on fire right now that has some players coming back that's older, but these boys is moving, and we talking about Father Time himself, LeBron James with the Lakers. Do you think if they get there and they match up, do you think the Lakers have a chance against the Thunder? Yeah, I'm gonna ask the real question. I want that. I want that real unfiltered shit. What is? Nah, say it with your chest too.
so so here's the thing. Do they stand a chance? Yes. Is it a big chance? Hell nah. They get. I mean, if they were able to get AR back, if they're able to get Doncic back to at least 80%, I think they have a fighting chance. And I think it shows that they're much better than what they have showed, just based off of what they're doing to the Rockets. Because
Right.
that shit, they are making LeBron is playing like LeBron. They're making Marcus Smart play like Scottie Pippen.
Hey, smart, legit, bro.
I'm just saying, in no way have anybody sit there and say that Marcus Smart is a facilitator, a playmaker, offensive minded. This dude is averaging 20 points in the playoffs right now. Like 8, 10 assists. He had a
Yeah,
couple blocks last game too.
yeah,
Like, dude is playing his ass off. They have a chance. They have a chance. I'm not gonna knock them out, but I do think the Thunder's gonna go all the way. But I don't think it's not gonna be a sweep. I don't think that.
yeah,
But it's gonna go to game 6 or 7.
yeah. Man, because the other day I thought, okay, Rockets got to get your game in, man. And the Lakers came back and that shit went to overtime, and then I was just like, bro, for real,
I stopped
for
watching it.
real, bro.
I stopped watching it because I looked up and it was uh 25, 30 seconds, something like that. 6 points. Rockets. So I stopped watching and I look up and said, hold up, they're tied? The fuck? How'd that happen?
Right,
Marcus Smart. they
man.
they got a squad, bro. Don't do not count them out.
Yeah, I'm LeBron definitely has found the fountain of youth, man. I'm glad that you know what I'm saying. They it's crazy that the injuries had to serve and allow LeBron to be like, all right, man, watch out. Let me go on and handle this shit because that's the biggest thing. Like, I think he kind of started playing that back seat to where it was just like, man, I'm gonna let y'all have it. You know what I'm saying? We make the run. I'm kind of coaching through that. Now, bro, those parents like, man, head of team. Let me show you how to do this shit. So, I
Hmm.
like the fact that he do it, and then he doing this shit. Look, he got little Bronny coming out there looking like something. I said, man, let me quit talking about little Bronny so bad, bro. Like, man, that boy he coming out there. I said, man, Batman and Robin out here. Now we know when Luca come back, that shit is cooked. Like
Cooked, sir.
they about that. So I don't. It's so sad because it's like, are they better without Luca out there? Can Reese just come back and Luca just sit like? Because really,
Nah,
I
they
mean,
need Luca, bro. They
against
need
who?
Luca, bro.
Not in this series, they don't.
Against a team like the Thunder, they need Luca. Keep AR and Luca out for this series because this series is all but done.
Yeah,
But they gonna need them when it comes to the Thunder.
yeah, yeah. Well, let's transition. We're gonna talk a little bit of baseball before we sit up here and wrap this episode up, man. Baseball season, man. It kicked off last month. Well, actually early this month. So it's still early in the game, but a couple of key notes with this. We talking about the new technology in baseball this season. You got the ABS Challenge system, which is introducing a robot for the umps. Now players can challenge the specific strike calls with the Hawkeye technology, and this is providing results on the stadium video board. And this is preserving the human element and slowing down on missed calls. But some people are complaining about it slowing down the game. So I went to a minor league game. I went to the Nashville Sounds game, opening game, earlier this month, and I experienced it. I think I'll be honest, I ain't gonna say I noticed a huge change, but I definitely say it's noticeable as far as bringing this technology in. So up until this point, I think as far as major sports, baseball was one of the sports that actually has not really had technology alter it.
Hmm.
I want to say football was the first ones when it came in with the spotting of the ball and the play card review. Basketball, they introduced the reviewing. So this is baseball's version of it. Do you feel like it kind of takes away from the game, or do you feel like it's just something that's necessary?
I think it's something necessary, especially with the technology that we have nowadays. Um, Especially like you have basketball that they're starting to challenge plays now. You have football that's starting to use the replay, the
Right,
s- uh, the Skytron or whatever to replay plays. Like I think it's all about evolving the game, and people get things wrong.
right.
Now on the other hand, that is job security that might be going away in the next decade or so. Like who before you know it, we might not have umpires.
Yeah,
Why?
that's the gift and the
Like
curse of
why
this
have
shit,
an
though.
umpire?
Mhm.
Yeah, like why have an umpire who's gonna be wrong, maybe 20-30% of the time when you can get electronics that will be right 99.9% of the time. So it's a double edged sword.
Right, right. So, we got one of the things that came up. We talking about the greatest hitters ever. Does Aaron Judge, who recently secured his third AL MVP, belong in the same breath as Babe Ruth and Ted Williams?
Yes, I think he's better. I think I think there's a multitude of players that are better than those guys, but it's also a different era of baseball as well.
Right,
So it's kind of hard to compare the two, especially. But also you have to put in consideration Babe Ruth was doing this while smoking cigars on the sideline the entire time.
bruh. He was kicking it, bruh.
Yeah, yeah. The Sultan of SWAT. I mean, but as far as the game and as far as the Yankees go, like yeah, Aaron Judge is that guy, and he's been that guy for many years.
Yeah.
So it's deservingly so. He belongs in the same realm as those two.
All right. So is he the best hitter?
Yes.
You go. So you
Best hitter
saying
of what? Best hit. Hold on, hold on. What's the exact question you're asking me?
is he the best hitter?
Best hitter of all time?
Yeah.
No.
Who the best hitter of all time?
Barry Bonds.
Barry Bond with the asterisk.
You got to put the asterisk because obviously you got to put that into consideration. His history, but he came clean. But he also said that the majority of his accolades happened when he wasn't on the juice.
Mark McGuire.
So see, it's kind of hard. I think he's one of the, I'm gonna put it into perspective. They say the hardest thing to do is to hit a baseball. So you can do all the steroids you want. You still got to hit that thing.
Sammy Sosa.
He up there too. I'm
Light,
not. I'm not just
light
going to
skin
negate.
Sammy, light skin Sammy or dark skin Sammy?
Oh, you funny for that one. we're
Ah,
gonna we're gonna go with the dark Sammy, bro. Dark Sammy all day, bro.
all right, man. Hey, look, we got plenty of time to talk about baseball. The season just getting started, man. But hey, look, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this episode up, man. We're going to post our time. But check this out. We got a lot more to talk about, man. We just getting started, y'all. This is episode 1. Hey, again, y'all make sure that y'all hit that like button, subscribe. Y'all sit up here and get all these notifications. Tell your people to tell your people to tell your people to sit up here and follow us. You tell your side piece to make sure they follow us too. Oh shit, he slid out. Hey, damn, bro, it wasn't time to go yet.
Peace.
Yeah, but you tell your side piece, and you tell your side piece, little man, and all them to sit up here and follow us too. Uh, hey, look, you sitting up here, the coach that you sit up here messing with on your son football team, tell him to follow us. You know what I'm saying? You tell AAU coach that you sitting up here, you know what I'm saying, messing with, you tell that motherfucker to follow us too. So, with all that being said, hey man, I'm here, bro. Look, we still got a couple of minutes. Do it one more time. You got what? What's You got anything else you want to add to it, man? On episode 1.
All right, and subscribe, comment. The things. We're on all platforms. Come check us out. We talking about football, basketball, baseball. Go Orioles all day, every day. We just here talking that shit, and it's always gonna be unfiltered, and it will always be on ball. And we may a little slide over to some other stuff too, but always gonna be unfiltered. Always.
For sure. For sure, man. We got a lot more to talk about. There's some more things that we want to talk about, but we're gonna talk about it next episode. We're gonna sit up here and talk about how the fastest gunman to ever sit up here and run through the White House, man. He ran that 40-yard dash. But we'll talk about that we'll take on what, episode 2. All right, man. We'll be back like 2 shoulder blades. Peace.
Peace.